Right then, there's some nodes behind me actually, I think I'll get those. So yeah, let's talk a bit more about the North Downs then. So this region you can start it about level 20-ish by going off to Trestlebridge, and it's got quests that go up to about level 35. Plus there's 4 instances at the end which are level 40 and scale all the way up to the level cap, which are the 4 that are in Fornos. And there's also a skirmish, but the skirmish isn't included in the North Downs. It's one of the premium skirmishes, Attack at Dawn. And you have to buy that one separately. But, one of the key parts about the North Downs is that we're going to meet the Rangers, which Aragorn is the leader of. So we're going to meet a few of his best buds over at that place. Although of course Aragorn himself has gone off with Frodo and that now, heading eastward to Rivendell. We will actually meet those guys again at Rivendell. We'll see all the members of the Fellowship before they depart Rivendell. And we'll actually be quite instrumental in sending those guys off whenever we get there, but Rivendell's a fair way off. We'll be about level 35 by the time we get there, and of course I'm not levelling most of the time as well, so that will slow me down a little bit. As well as collecting all these nodes that I'm collecting along the way, so I think I'll just have to ignore that one. It's so hard to ignore nodes. Every time I see it I need to go mine it or chop it or whatever. Too good to leave out. I'm getting a bit lost. I'm going this way, aren't I? It's that hill I want. There's the camp. Okay, so defeat 10 orcs, find the map pages, collect the cartwheel. I'm collecting this one though. And defeat the Tarkrip Defiler. But that one I think's in MMORPG, so probably not going to do that one just yet. Yeah, we're not doing that one, so we've only got 3 that we can do at the moment. Get that in the ore node. So let's talk a bit about burglars then, while I'm doing these quests. So the main role of burglars, or one of their main roles I should say, is crowd control. Particularly in the yellow trait line, which I'm currently in, because that will give me an absolute load of crowd control later on. But burglars are obviously melee characters. They tend to work with, say, daggers. Works quite nicely, but you can still use other things like maces and swords. All kind of like small weapons, really. You don't have any ranged abilities, or any ranged attack abilities. You do have some ranged skills. Let's kill a few of these guys, don't I? I hit quite hard. There we go, heal up myself. Yeah, bugs do melee damage, they do crowd control, they do stealth. The only class that properly does some stealth. Other characters can like go in stealth on the spot, like hunters do. Or you can get a racial stealth, which is rubbish, and you only can use it that once every half an hour, I think it is now. Might be wrong on that one. Should probably go for my class traits as well. Trying to do that while I'm in combat is probably not the best time to be doing it, but whatever. So if I was quickly change to slot number 2, we see the 3 burglar trait lines there. Trying to fight these guys with only half my skills would probably be quite interesting, but what the hell. So burglars have got 3 trait line. I've got 1 burglar using each of these 3 trait lines. So my main burglar is using the red line, Quiet Knife, which is basically straight up damage. Attacks fast, does good damage skills. It's all about damage dealing as quickly as possible. My second burglar is running the Gambler, which again does pretty damn good damage, but it's more based on damage over time, and you've got these things called gambles, which are unique to that trait line, which basically allow you to apply different effects to an enemy. which apply various debuffs. So you can weaken them, you can apply a strong damage over time to them. You can change those gambles to cause them to be stunned, and all sorts of other cool bits and pieces. And then the trait line that Avella is using is the yellow one, the Mischief Maker, which is based around, more kind of around group play really. I mean, it's perfectly fine solo. It's probably got the weakest of the 3 DPSs, which is not too bad at all really. I mean, you've seen me getting through these orange orcs pretty much fine. Yeah, it's got these things called tricks, so you can apply tricks to enemies, which are kind of like debuffs and buffs, and then you have trick removals, which you can use on an enemy that has a trick on them. So one of the ones that I've got in a minute will heal me, another one will make them miss more, I can stun them, I can restore my own morale and power if I had that skill. Don't have that one yet. So yeah, and then later on in that tree you can actually apply these heals and that to your fellowship, which is quite nice. So I'll just go back into that. There we go. I have actually done a detailed video going over the burglars, so if I remember to put it in my editing, I will stick that on the screen or in the description. You can watch that. I think I did mention it last episode. But yeah, so at the minute I'm sticking to the yellow line. I will eventually be picking up some traits, probably from red and probably from the blue one, I think. Might have a side of blue in this. I could potentially buy all traits in here and then several traits outside. And buying outside your trait line costs 2 points instead of 1, so it's a bit more expensive. Still need to kill a few more guys. But yeah, I'll probably miss out a couple of traits in here, just give me more points to spend outside the tree, whichever traits don't interest me too much. So certainly for the early levels I'm sticking in here. I've spent all the 7 points I've currently got available. So at the minute I have gone for Trick Dust in the Eyes, which is one of those tricks that I can apply on enemies. Let's just bring the tooltip up for that so you can read that while I'm talking. I got 2 skills just by choosing this trait line, which was Mischievous Glee, which is one of the trick removal skills. That one will heal me, and then later in the trait line that will heal my fellowship as well. And I can't remember what the other one was. Let's just quickly change out the trait line. It was Trick Disable, which is another one of the tricks. Let's get back in there. And then I got another trick removal, Startling Twist. I'm going to run out of screen space if I put these all in tooltips, but I'll go over my burglar skills in this episode and the next probably. And Practical Joke, which just means my tricks and trick removals do more damage. More damage is always nice. So yeah, anyway. Just murder this guy. I've done all the quests, that's good. Right, let's mount up and hand in. So yeah, to go through my my burglar skills then. So first up, Surprise Strike. Nice big bit of damage. Does more damage if I attack from stealth, and also if I'm behind the target. And if I'm in stealth and behind the target, does even more damage. Very nice. So that's quite a strong skill. In later games it's probably not as useful as some of the other skills, certainly in the other trait lines anyway. But we'll see how that one goes along. Second skill is Cunning Attack, which is quite nice because that one, again, it will do more damage if you attack from behind or from stealth. And it also does bleeds as well, which is quite nice. And if you I think only if you aim, unless they changed it, but if you aim before you use Cunning Attack, you will crit on all of the dots. I don't have the aim skill yet. I think it's only possibly only in the Quiet Knife tree. So that's our second bread and butter skill, and our third bread and butter skill is Subtle Stab. which
Woe be me. Might I take a moment of your time?
may not take a moment of my time. I'm trying to talk here. Ash branches, I'll have those. So yeah, this is an attack that you can spam pretty much all the time. 3-second cooldown. And while you're in the Mischief Maker tree, using that skill will give -2 seconds trick removal cooldown. So what that means is my trick removal cooldown, so Startling Twist, it's currently got 45-second cooldown. If I use Startling Twist, that cooldown will be ticking down from 45 seconds until I can use it again. And each time I use Subtle Stab, it will take 2 seconds off of that timer to bring it closer down to 0. So I can use those skills again. But as I go up to further places in this trait tree, I think I can get that down to 20-second cooldown by default. So that 2 seconds off will mean a lot. Oh! Stabbed him up the bum. Good shot. Yeah, let's head back in here, and I'll probably consider going off to the Lone Lands in this episode. Depends if there's many more quests over here. I think most of them have sent me into Namwathron. Yeah, the next skill on my skill bars then, that will be Double-Edged Strike. And this is going to be quite a powerful attack. It will do 2 attacks, one with my main hand weapon, one with my offhand weapon. And I can only use that skill after I've done a critical strike. So there's going to be a percentage, which I can see on my character screen. I have a 2.9% critical chance with a melee attack and a 0.9% chance of a devastating critical. So if I manage to hit one of those, this skill will open up and I can use that and it deals loads of damage, which is very nice. And there are other skills in the critical chain, so as it currently stands, my next skill in there, Small Snag.
What do you need?
Which is the quick chain skill unique to the Mischief Maker. And then Quiet Knife and Gambler both get their own unique skill as part of their crit chain. But this one, Small Snag, will root the target, which means they can't move from the spot. They can still attack.
I'm sorry, did you need something?
If they're in range to attack. So if they're
Might
an
I
archer,
take a
they'll still
moment
carry on
of your
shooting.
time?
If they're a melee character, they will only be able to attack if you walk near them. So you can just step away and laugh at them, basically. Kemp's Stash. That's later on. Right, so I think we'll head off then to the Lone Lands, and I'll show you the first town in there. So I'll see you guys in a little bit. Okay, so we're back again, and I've actually stopped off along the way. I'll just show you guys on the map where I am. Move that over there. So I'm in Breeland again, and what I've done is I've just taken a horse south from Bree. Although if you can't get a horse to the Forsaken Inn, you can just walk along this road going south out of Bree, which then starts going eastward. And I'm stopped over here, just outside the Breeland homesteads, where I showed you where I've got my house before. Just to show you, you can talk to one of these guys, which are one of the housing brokers. I can purchase a house.
Can I help you with something?
You can help me with looking at what's available, yes. So you can see all the neighbourhoods that are in this place, and there are going to be quite a lot. And you get a list of how many houses are free in each one. So you've got Standard House, Deluxe House, and Kinship House. So for example, if I was to search for the neighbourhood that my stuff's in, we've got 8 Standard, no Deluxe, and 1 Kinship. So if I just click on that, we'll see all the houses. So you'll see houses have a certain amount of money you need to buy them. So standard houses are around about 1 gold, deluxe houses are around about 7 gold, and kinship houses are around about 15 gold. And you have to pay that once just to buy the house. Then there's also an upkeep price. So standard ones are 50 silver per week, deluxe ones are a bit more than that. I think it's 100 silver a week. And the kinship houses are 330 silver a week. So it's not too much. It might sound like a lot when you're starting out in the game, but it's really not. And you can pay those on your character panel under house. Close that. So you can see my houses. bear in mind that your personal house belongs to the character that bought it. So it says Home of Bria, which is one of my main characters. I can pay maintenance on my personal house, and it will tell me then. So my lockout date is actually really soon. So that's in American date format. So that's the 2nd of March, not the 3rd of February, at 9:15 AM. So if I don't pay my rent by then, my access to my house gets revoked, and my house is locked until I pay the rent. And if I don't pay the rent for a certain amount of time after that, I will lose my house entirely. Bear in mind, you won't lose your items that are in your house, because they'll go into one of the special vault boxes as temporary storage. So all your housing decorations and contents of your chest will go there. They won't be lost permanently. But I can pay my rent up to a fairly long amount of time. It's probably about 6 months past whenever, so I could pay that. It's going to tell me how much it's going to cost. So 6 months worth of your house would probably cost you. Bear in mind, I've got a deluxe house, so it's a bit more expensive. So 6 months of a deluxe house is probably a little under 4 gold, which is peanuts once you've been leveling in the game a little bit. You could pay mithril coins. It's probably really not worth it, because 10 mithril coins a week is pretty damn expensive. So I could just pay 150 silver. Can I afford that? Yeah, I've got loads of money. Pay that, and then it will update my lockout date by a week, so it's now the 9th of March rather than the 2nd of March. Similarly, if you give permissions, not that one, I want permissions. If you're the leader of a kinship and you set up permissions for various people in your kin, you can give them permissions to pay maintenance or do other stuff. And if you give everyone in your kinship, so or indeed everyone, you could set it up as, you can let them pay maintenance, so you can let them donate towards the upkeep of your kin house. And in my case that works quite nicely, because everyone chips in, and that's always topped up to the max pretty much. So that's quite nice. So yeah, this is just the Breeland homesteads. I'm going to hop on my horse and start auto running again. I'm not sure if I've actually mentioned where exactly the other housing homesteads are, so let's go and show you. So in the Shire, the Hobbit ones are over here. So the access should be somewhere around here, I believe it is. Or certainly along this road anyway. So if you come over to this road, so the nearest stable master will be Mickle Delving. So go east, you've got the horse track here around that lake, and it's just south of that. Ered Luin, the elf ones are over here. Can't really see it too well, but it's where the big plus is, but if you hover over it. So it's just south of that road there. And the dwarf ones are to the west of Thorin's Gate, just past the stable master. There will be a door around here to go inside the mountain, and that's where those guys are. I've gone well off the beaten track. I found a house. Where am I? I don't remember this house here. Interesting. Anywho, let's go back across here. So you'll see that the landscape is starting to change there. We've still got these bizarre low quality trees rendering in the distance. But you'll see that the landscape's starting to change from like the lush green colours of Breeland and the swamps there into the yellowish colours of the lone lands. And that big mountain over there, behind these trees, you can't see what's on top of it, but that is Weathertop, which you'll hopefully know from the books or movies if you've read or seen them. This building over here, this is the Forsaken Inn, so we're about to cross the borders now into the Lone Lands down over here. It should tell us that. There's the ruins, there we go. It's a nice little shot over here, isn't it? There we go, the Lone Lands. Now entering a Lone Loss. So if I open up my map, so the Lone Lands is kind of not very tall, but very wide. So you can see we start off over here at the Forsaken Inn. There is an area up here called the Midgewater Pass, which kind of overlaps with Breeland, so you can get into the Midgewater Pass along the Weather Hills there. Now there are some quests up there, but I haven't done them in years, so don't ask me too much about those. We've got the Weather Hills with Weathertop, which is the really big hill with the ruins on there. If you ever want to go up there, you just kind of have to follow the slopes up clockwise around it. There's several different paths you can take, but as long as you go clockwise, you should find your way up there. Ruins of Minas Ariel. There's some more ruins over here where all these ruins are. Osgurth is kind of the capital of the Lone Lands, if you can call it that. So that's where the reputation guys and all the facilities are going to be over here. There's trolls and nasty things over in this area, particularly loads of trolls in these woods, and they're quite strong. Garth Garwin is where the instance cluster is. There's 3 instances as part of Garth Garwin. But since the Lone Lands is a completely free area, you'll have this by default when you start the game, so you don't have to buy these instances or these quests, which is always quite nice. Agamauer is quite a tough area for soloing, so be warned if you go over there. And then the very easternmost part, we've got the last bridge, which goes into the Troll Shores, which will lead up to Rivendell. But that's a fair long way away, so we're not going there just yet. But what I am going to do is I'm going to go inside here, the Forsaken Inn. But can I do any tasks? I'll grab these, because I haven't been selling any of the task items which I've collected, so I might be able to use them for these. Who do I take them to? Bloke inside the inn, okay.
Stay a moment.
So there are going to be absolutely loads and loads of quests in here, so if you want quick leveling, Forsaken Inn is always a great place to go. So I can hand in a task.
Can't you leave me to my misery?
So we've got 1 quest.
I don't know if you can help me.
2.
I'm sure it will do no good, but may I speak with you? I'm sure it will do no good, but may I speak with you?
That's 5 quests.
I don't know if you can
Shut
help
up.
me.
You're making me go mad. So yeah, once again we've got these bounty quests. So if you remember, we had some of those in the southern, or the northern Burrowdowns technically, but we went into the southern Burrowdowns to do those. So as it says in red there, we have a certain number of times we can complete them, which is going to be free. So we do these 3 times, then we get various crafting bits and pieces, which are quite nice. So we want to kind of prioritise those each time we go into those areas to quest, so that we can go back, hand them in, come back the second time, do them, go back the third time and do them. Otherwise, what happens if we only do them once and we do all the other quests there, then we either have to go back there purely to do the second and third bounty quest, or we don't do them at all.
Hello there.
So yeah, I got a quest at some point, probably when I was hitting about level 18, 19, which would have said, to the Lone Lands. And you get that automatically as soon as you hit level 19 or so, and that would have directed you here, so that may be how you found this place.
Will you give me a moment of your time, friend?
What's that, 8 or 9 quests now? I'll call it 8. Probably is 9.
I don't know if you can help me.
So that'd be 11.
I'm sorry to trouble you, but will you help me? I'm sorry to trouble you, but will you help me?
Then we come over here. That'd be
Might
at
I
least
take a
12.
moment of your time?
How can I be of service? Would you do something for me?
13. 14.
I'm sure it will do no good, but may I speak with you?
So this
I
one...
don't know if you can help me.
Shut up! Right, Inn of the Forsaken is an instance that is in the Forsaken Inn, believe it or not. That is not part of the Lone Lands itself, so you don't have that by default. It's one of the premium instances, so you have to pay that separately unless you're VIP, in which case you'll have it anyway. But you can do that from level 20 all the way up to level cap, and that's a free man instance, small fellowship. So I'll probably have to do that at some point, but I will need backup, particularly if I'm doing that on level, so I can take that. So yeah, I need to speak to him to start this the first time, but I can't do that at the moment on my own. So yeah, I've probably got at least a good dozen quests in this place. So let's head back outside. But I think we'll stop there. Next episode we'll carry on with the quest. So see you.